Kim. It's snowing again. Getting darker. There's something here. Some great tectonic force has cracked the pavement like an eggshell. Maybe a sea monster did this to the plaza. The damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. That's fantastic. An ancient fountain, it doesn't pump water anymore. There's a tree in it. Yeah. There are tire tracks leading onto the roof. The slush and rain has almost washed them off. Hey there, you're playing a game of bull? What did we just see here? Hey there. Not bad, René. You might stand a chance this time.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle.
He covers his mouth to hide a burp.
I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to angry old René first.
Hey, René.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
Is one still chewing on his sandwich?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Alright, I got this. Ball time!
That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime.
Yeah, grab the ball and show them how it's done. Oh.
This felt wrong. Wrong like touching your sister's breast. You threw your sister's breast.
Mon Dieu! Good job, officer. That was an excellent throw.
Well, hold on. Why did it feel so wrong?
Your muscle memory knew what to do and went for it. But there were gaps. It felt like you were going for a thrust or a lunge. There was definitely gonna be jumping. Maybe you scored a point, but this is a fiasco.
I thought something way more spectacular would happen.
What are you talking about? You just executed a pretty much perfect pétanque throw.
His tone is full of admiration.
How are you ever going to get the officer's shit off your nose, Gaston? Or even climb out of his ass?
He shakes his head in extreme disdain. For some reason? Why, no, we must come back. We must be the superstar. That's just how Johnny Ballgame is extraordinary.
Right. Was the demonstration it? Or do you still need something from us, officer?
Yes, officer. What do we need from this gentleman?
I saw the statue of Philip III near the roundabout.
Ah, yes. King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Old people talk about the past. Always works. That's our gut feeling.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
How should a true king rule?
Decisively. without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Seems to me a leader should take care of his people before himself.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
There's some weariness in his voice now. He's heard this rant many times before.
The carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
What was the thing about cocaine?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
He was obviously annoyed.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine. For clarity of vision. To aid in their work. Regnum cocainum. Revishal's finest years.
He seems to grow taller, brimming with pride about the past.
Of course. Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor. And it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Higher realms. Of course, it all makes sense.
That sounded interesting, man.
It's really not. Please, do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
Yes, indeed. We're not here to investigate the drug trade of centuries past.
Okay. Boring Kim. Let's talk about something else.
Right.
The old man stands tall and proud, looking at you inquisitively. Do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
You don't have a problem with cops?
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
So again, do you know anything?
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing. This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future.
And you seem to be playing in a crater.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Was it made by a sea monster, rising from the depths?
No. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
Okay, it's a crater left by artillery fire, but why?
Why what?
Why did they use heavy artillery?
Because that's what happens when communists hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
So did you fire the artillery?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked.
He adds, squeezing a bull in his fist.
Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Why shell them here in Martinez?
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
The beachhead?
Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Death blow. That sounds grim, man.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Skull and bones, man.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
So the coalition?
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil.
Is that why everything is so bombed out?
Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
There's a strange gleam in his eyes.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
So we're in a nearly dead place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course, they still all influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
This coalition seems capable, but... soft socialists paving the way for the hard working class to take over? What does that even mean? This coalition seems quite capable.
They're not. And I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains,
He takes a deep
I
breath.
would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio.
He sighs.
This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
What is a suzerain?
The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already.
Soon, they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
We'll try to find out.
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frisel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frisel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You'll get to it. Don't worry.
Thank you for your time.
Son, you've really let yourself go. It's a disgrace. But Coach Physical Instrument is going to get you back in prime condition. Even if it takes 1,000,000 push-ups.
No, discard it. I don't want to be. We're too exhausted. Too exhausted. What is this here? Enormous bulls worthy of a real man. Can we have some time to some place to sleep? Where are we even? Little girl. Oh. Yeah, we can heal the health. can heal our morale a bit.
Hi, Ace Detective.
See you round, Annette. See you round. What's this? Roundabout north. Ah. Martinez Pier. And this? The Adrids. Broken window? Tibbs has windows. Oh, and what's hate? What? Wait. This thing. If you had a bag in your hand, perhaps you could collect these bottles and sell them.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
We're gonna look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug, written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens.
Ah. Shift your focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericarnassian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows.
No, the vandalism.
Probably some kids.
The lieutenant inspects the rigged slot. Yeah, it was Kuno. Which reminds me of, hey, are you sleeping? You hear the distant squall of seabirds. Things I've seen and said. What's that? We've got a fritter bag. Yeah, you know, man, you can get a new bag one day.
This coin-operated viewer is facing...
Wait. There were some things here.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
What's a tourist attraction doing here?
There was a revitalization project in '49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick.
What happened?
They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Everard Clare, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here.
Can we do something about that? That sounds miserable.
We should have done something about the union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
Alright, well, let's try.
Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk. The ring of metal.
We'll look inside.
The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry. Different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost.
What is that?
The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken
mystery.
sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it. Its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Hang in there, little one.
The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind.
There are ruins of some kind of building there, Kim.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
The lieutenant takes off his glasses and cleans them. We've got the bag. Hold it in our hand. Was that a flashlight? Secret orbs. Open locked containers. We'll have a flashlight. Nice. Look, we have a plastic tear. Glass tear. Hidden orbs. Hey, there's something.
Yes?
Nothing, we just wanted that little thing here on the ground. Ha! I love it, we can see so much now. Coin operated view has been banged up. Inoperable. Oh, there's something down here. What's that? Seen something there. Here, there, everywhere. Splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. Woo! We are real blue. Where does this lead to? Discover secret orbs in shady areas. Hey there, pigeon. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. But what do we find here? What is this? Oh, what a beautiful backyard.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Why am I looking at this wall?
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinaise. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Uh-huh. Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, roundabout north. Cape Side Apartments, and this?
Hey! Up here, piggo!
Up where? Hey!
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Oh, she has red eyes. The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Yeah, when were you last tested?
Had a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a man-o'-war.
It's about the attitude she puts the brush aside.
A brush? An artist? The red splatter is urban expressionism.
What are you looking at? You keep looking off the side.
She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier. Hatred? Disgust? It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
And you do that. That's service.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinaise.
Probably the
Was
White House
she?
rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to us on.
Do you know anything about the recent murder, by the way?
I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
Oh, Kim. People are just not as boring as you are.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cads. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Why are you so committed to defacing this building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
Yeah, I've got an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Inside the frame of the motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. What's that? Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Oh, there's a boat. An old boat. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A. Your room in the whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. It's worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
What a joy to meet you. She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
RCM? Was this that? I'm a little foggy.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
Uh-huh. Joyce. What does the L stand for?
Leighton, my maiden name.
A bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk? She hasn't actually said it to every drunk in town. It was spoken in jest.
I'm not a drunk, I'm a police officer.
Of course you're not. It was only a joke.
I won't shake your hand now.
I'm glad to see you here.
The woman and the lieutenant exchange a brief handshake.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Have you done the lynching?
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What lustrous hair.
A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it au naturel, shaped into a permanent wave, late 40s style, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason.
Yeah, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
What? What's she doing to me? As I should be for even considering it. This is a woman, and I'm a man.
Yes, you should be able to take care of yourself, not grovel at her beautiful feet, dishonoring yourself and your organization with this request. Oh God, the lieutenant is here too. Do not dishonor the force.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Ha! All right. Can I have some money?
Voila, you're doing it.
Can I have some money, ma'am?
Of course. How much do you need?
She doesn't even smile.
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
I need 10,000 real.
Come now. Nobody carries that much cash on their person. Particularly in a place like Martinez. I'd get robbed. And even if I did, I still would not give you 10,000 real. I would rather buy something nice with it, like expensive hi-fi or a new hydrodynamic E40 sail.
Hi-fi. I like high-fidelity disco music too.
I like high-fidelity anything, sir.
Gives you a fast
Now,
little
try
smile.
again, but lower.
130.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She reaches into a raincoat and pulls out a zip bag. In it you see paper notes arranged like black gills.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
Whoa.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
No, you have not bribed me. I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept. You were just helping me out.
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
You're on a boat!
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. I think I have not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are.
She looks
We're on
around.
an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, this is an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
How boring.
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Cool, your boat really needs a name, though.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat, it makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
She makes a point of being unromantic about it.
How about the X something?
The X something. The X what?
The X something.
Very absurd. Thank you for the suggestion. I will stick with the factory name for now, but thank you.
Oh, come on.
Okay. How about because it was
She makes a point of being unromantic.
The X something.
How about
The X what?
the executor?
Oh, I do like the sound of that. It sounds so decisive, so powerful.
Okay, so we have the executor now. Great. What kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I have a handle on the boat thing now.
Good.
She takes a sip of her thermal cup. You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
No time to explain. Just give me the lowdown. No, I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately reconverge with our murder investigation. They are really one and the same.
Are they now?
Lieutenant cocks one
A
eyebrow.
deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
What is that? Oh, we leveled up. Yes, I mean, we clearly need some... What do we need? We need some logic or esprit du corps. We need to be very logically going forward.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
What are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislaine 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
What is that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing, but to a child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colours and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I might be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabbled in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
A new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now,
where are we?
we're in Martinez, baby.
Baby.
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I am a disco holdover.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
What is this sea?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm and unknowable. Flowing in and out of sight.
What is the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch. The Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before. as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
Tell me about another, perhaps even more fundamental aspect. No. So we have Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
But what kind of city?
Great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
What makes it great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
And when was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
So deep.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
And why has it all happened here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're at the center of the world.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling, cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly.
Some kind of superstar. Jamais vu. Revachol Special Administrative Region Le Caillou, the Insulindian Ocean, Coalition Government, Insulindian Mission Command. Name after name, and none of them is familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. Trouvons the Apricot Company, World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching out for them. Scratch at the corner, see if they peel loose. It feels like the most important of all the thoughts, the one you must truly complete.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But I want to know everything now. Everything.
That is understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
For what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big
The
time?
revolution.
Ha, and what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
How did they win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Oh.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
Everyone got shot who was there to surrender to
To
him.
foreign intervention. The Coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
But you just said it was the liberals.
The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The Coalition of Nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Oh no.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
The moralists.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At
Why
least
did they...
not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
I've always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
Only the ears, Willem, only the ears. When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
And who started the revolution?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did it do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
And what came next?
Why? You and I, officer.
She spreads her
Our
arms.
lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What's your zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
It's been like this for 43 years.
Time flies.
What have we been doing?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
After that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Then you happened. Your youth in the 30s. All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's when they discovered disco.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isola-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
A reality. We found a reality.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be too thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements. Paint flecking from the
We
stone.
could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
I asked you. Who are you in all this?
And I asked you, philosopher detective of the Citizens Militia.
Well, I would have made off with the mineral rights.
You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Ah, well. What was, I guess.
Who got shot?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot
40.
in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
She likes the totality of it.
You could say they got totally shot in the head.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people.
They shoot back.
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else got shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Oh, what a cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Well, enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Now's your chance. Ask her who she is. She won't get out this time.
I want to know what you are, seriously.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Stop dodging, what are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
I don't understand what's so vile about that.
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financier pirates. No sane person identifies as ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
That dialect is obisunt. You recognize it a quote from somewhere. A play written way back in the Franco-Nigerian century.
And persuades them to addict themselves to his service.
Ah, you know more than you let on. Philosopher detective of Precinct 41.
I think she likes me now. While they will shake our head slowly.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you personally have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
So am I.
A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time.
Are you a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is...
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinaise?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
What?
We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
What is this abbreviation?
It stands for Revachol Citizens Militia.
And what is that?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm one of the good guys.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Well, back to those basic terms of reality.
And if the law officials of our nation need help with the basic terms of reality, well, then I'm here to help.
What was the RCM?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Again.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Are we?
We are.
De facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts
Okay,
in what is
okay.
poetically called
That's it for
the
the who I am
Permit
part.
me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Yes, we are
And if
power,
the law
man.
officials of our nation need help with the basic terms of reality, well, then I am here to help.
What is...
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
That's all for Mo.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else I can do?
Yeah. No, that's all for
Of
now.
course, Detective. Take care.
We'll continue this or something else later. But we will level up our conceptualization. Because we understand concepts much more after this talk. Oh yes. What do you seek here, Kim? Nice. Maybe we can find some money in this. Oh, some magnesium. I like this. The night is nothing on us. We have money, we have fame. We have everything, Kim. Thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. A great time until then, and happy gaming. This is Immanuel Can, signing out. See you soon, and happy gaming.